Arthur, I am all for ecumenism in today's world, peace and harmony. But if we're interested in the real truth value of religions, we have to face the fact that certainly among the major religions of the world, there is serious conflict in terms of their fundamental doctrines. From Judaism's point of view, how do you look at diverse religions? How do you authenticate them? And what do you do about this obvious conflict?
Well, I would say from a modern point of view, and speaking for myself, I'm against the mixture of politics and religion. I think religion is largely a private matter, though you need a community, and it should not be mixed with political factors. Now, on the Jewish end, I think there are two issues here. That there is an abstract issue of how does Judaism look at other religions. Yeah. And here there is actually a legal term that is used, tries to solve that issue. It's called Chasidei Umot HaOlam, the righteous people of the world to come. Mm. And these people are expected to observe what's called the 7 Noahide commandments: believe in God, believe in justice, not to murder, not to steal, and so on.
And these are called Noahide because they are pre-Abrahamic in a sense.
Pre-Abrahamic, and they come out of that the rabbis extracted them from whatever is known about the pre-Abrahamic world. Then come the Abrahamic religions, and so on. So that on the Jewish end, there is a kind of a recognition that there are many different kinds of religions and what is acceptable as a religion. So this is one aspect of the problem. But then there is also the historical aspect that Jews throughout the ages, particularly in the Middle Ages, were forced to have discussions with Christians largely. And then, of course, there would come out certain anti-Christian points of view, and the issues would be, let's say, believe in the Trinity, which from a Jewish point of view would be unacceptable, incarnation, and things of that kind. So for historical reasons, in these situations, Jews, let's say, would try to show why Christianity would not be an acceptable religion because it has an unacceptable belief in God, and certainly the incarnation would not be acceptable from a Jewish point of view. So I think what happens, at least in the modern world, is that there would be a toleration of other religions, but I think the claim would not be that all religions are equally valid. I think in the end, if you belong to a religion, whether it is Judaism or Christianity or Islam, the claim would be whatever the value is of other religions, our religion is the best. And I think this is simply the way in which religions function, and maybe that's the way in which they have to function, because if being
a Christian, function that way, they wouldn't be a religion.
Or a Muslim, then why not shift? So I think you have to distinguish between the claims of a religion and then how far this goes. Now, just because a person thinks that my religion is better than other religions, does that mean we have to persecute people of other religions? And that's, a separate kind of issue. So the 2 or 3 points I would have is that I think in the modern world, at least in the Western world, religion has to be a private matter.
Yes.
On the other hand, adherents of religions will obviously claim that their religion is better than other religions, or even within a religion. Let's say an Orthodox Jew would probably claim that his religion is more correct than that of a conservative Jew or a Reformed Jew. So you have to keep...
A rabbinical friend of mine told me he would rather that I be a Christian rather than a Reformed Jew, because then it would be very clear what I was. But if I was a Reformed Jew, I would think I was Jewish when I really wasn't, because I wasn't in an Orthodox tradition.
Well, I think that's a rather extreme kind of position. I think what we have to know about the modern world is that it's a multiple kind of world, and it differs from the medieval world. On the Jewish end, just to illustrate it, if you want to live in the Jewish community, let's say in the Middle Ages, which was the only community in which you could live because the outside world wouldn't accept you,
sure,
you had to conform to whatever the practices are. You could not keep your stores open on the Jewish Sabbath because people would not buy from you. So you had to conform. Now this changed with the advent of the Enlightenment and the Emancipation at the end of the 18th century, and here you get multiple aspects of the same religion.
I think it's interesting that Judaism teaches that all people, though, no matter what they believe, can be part of the world to come, the salvation as the Jewish religion would see it, if they follow these generic laws, these 7 Noahide laws. Other religions don't teach it quite in that way. They really teach conformity with their own beliefs, or you can't participate. Although there's variation within each one, but is that a core belief of Judaism?
There is one shading within it, because Maimonides, for certain reasons, maintains that non-Jews, whatever they are, will have to accept the Noahide commandments on the basis of revelation, cannot just accept them as matters of human reason. Now he has certain ideas why he does that, but I think in general, Jewish thinkers would feel that as long as non-Jews observe these commandments, they have a part in the world to come, in the afterlife. So I think Jews, in that respect, are reasonably tolerant, even though, again, you find within the community, as you've mentioned, your friends who thinks it's better you're Christian than Reformed Jews, that they're also extremists. We now have people known as Haredim, or especially observant Jews, who think of other Jews as really not being part of the fold. And you have that in every you have in Christianity, you have it in Islam. Now, the interesting point, by the way, is that historically, Judaism was more sympathetic toward Islam because Islam was considered a monotheistic religion and not an idolatrous religion. So that laws, for example, that applied to idolaters, and there were such, did not apply to Muslims. So I think you can say generally that while Judaism would insist that being a Jew is the right way, they would be reasonably tolerant toward other religions. And it might just be that the historical reasons for that, the Jews never had the power to impose a religion on others or other groups.